I was thinking about it earlier today. I've always been a morning person, and I've had friends that are night owls, and I'm sure you've known people that are like that. You have always been a morning person since I've known you. Was that something that was natural, or do you think that came from the military?
It's not the military. And when I went in the military, most people were not morning people. So they had a hard time in the military in the beginning. Some of them didn't even make it because they can't wake up. They have problems in the morning. They can't think. But mine actually started when I was about 10 years old. I had a newspaper route. And the newspapers, I had to deliver the newspapers before I went to school. Had to be to school by 8 o'clock, maybe 7:30. Yeah, I think it was 7:30 because we had like a half hour to get where we were going to go and get situated. But school actually starts in your homeroom at 7:30, and then 8 o'clock your classes start. So I had to get to school by 8 o'clock without exception. So I was 10 years old, and I wasn't even supposed to be taking papers. I don't know if there was a law or they just had a local rule. You had to be at least 15. I was 10. And so I had this paper route because someone had the route and then they just quit. So they couldn't find anybody. So I said, I'd do it. So at 10 years old, I was working in a grocery store, shoveling snow, cutting grass, doing anything to make money, collecting pop bottles. I'm sure Ezra will not know what a pop bottle is. A pop bottle was, I'll just say it was Coke in a glass. So glass bottle. So anyway, I was doing that. And so to take the papers, especially on Sunday, you have to put them together. So for me, like during the week, there may be flyers or something like that you had to put in the papers. So when they delivered the papers, the newsstand that handled all of this wasn't even open. They would just drop the papers off in a bundle. So I had to carry these pliers with me, the wire cutters, to cut the cables to get to the papers. So I would go there and take my, 75 papers. And then I would have to take out the attachments. And then I would have to make sure that the papers that I left behind didn't blow away. So I had to go real early. Remember, I'm 10 years old. I have no transportation. I'm doing this all on foot. The paper route was probably the primary reason why I was getting up early. I had to unbundle the papers that were delivered to the newsstand. This is at 4 o'clock in the morning, and had to put the papers together. And then I had to make sure that the papers that were left behind that was unbundled wouldn't blow away. So I would always carry a brick or something with me, and because I knew I had to do that. So 4 o'clock became kind of the magic number for me to get up and go deliver the papers and, get ready for school. Because this, like I said, the area was pretty wide and I had a lot of customers. So as time went on, I started inheriting paper routes from other kids that were seniors in high school and graduated. And so I can't remember the number of papers I had, but it was large. It was a large amount. I had to come back to the store several times to reload because I couldn't all carry it at one time. And this is all before I got a car. I started driving a car when I was 15, but and I bought the car. I bought a car and I used it for my paper route. And I would fill that car almost completely, the inside's full of papers. But before that, I had this sled in the wintertime. I had all kind of contraptions. I had a sled that had skis, and you don't see sleds like that. I've actually never seen a sled with skis on it. And I would take these flower boxes, the boxes that flowers come in when they deliver them, and they were maybe 6 foot long. And I would use those boxes and put all my papers in there. And then I had a dog. He was a German Shepherd mix, and he would pull my sled. So I had a lot of unique things I did trying to keep this paper route going and deliver all these papers. But 4 o'clock was kind of when I got up. I would finish probably about 6, and then I had to get ready for school. So I just can't remember not getting up early. Even before I was a paper boy, I would wake up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whatever the time was, to watch cartoons, if you can believe that. And when you turned on the TV, there would just be this, it would tell you the station and there'd be a humming noise, and it's very irritating. But when the TV's about ready to come on, the Star Spangled Banner starts playing. So I would watch that almost every morning. When I got back from the papers and I watched the news for a little while, I just got used to doing stuff in the morning, even though I was really young. Like I said, 10, 11, 12 years old, I was watching the news because that was the first thing that came on. I remember, I think it's Good Morning America now, but it was Dave Garroway. I'll never forget the guy. And he would do the news, and I would watch it, and I would also be, getting ready to go to school. But I was just always an early person. And but I went to bed early too. I went to bed 9 o'clock, 9:30 at the latest. I was in bed. So getting up early was probably one of the reasons why that I developed that habit of going to bed early and getting up early. So I blame it all on the paper route.
And I always felt that makes me more productive. When I wake up early, I can get things done, rather than if I go to bed late at the end of my day, I don't feel like I want to do stuff. I feel like at the beginning of my day, I want to get everything crossed off my list. So that, I think, has helped me throughout my years. And when we were on the military bases, I think being a part of that military lifestyle, it felt like I had to get up, I had to be disciplined. So I think that is probably a trait that we're going to pass down to Ezra. He's 1 year old as we record this, but he's already waking me up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m.
It's in the genes.